Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Suzi. Welcome to Yoga Strength. For those of you streaming live, it's good to see you. And for those coming in later, I hope that you're well, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. So it's Tuesday morning here, 8th of April 2020, the day of the full moon. And it's 8 a.m. in the morning and we are ready to build a little bit of heat, but also to ground down a little bit. Ground down in our practice and get a little bit of movement. So for this morning's practice, I'm going to get you to get a block or a firm pillow or a chair. Whatever's accessible for you in your space at the moment. I've got blocks and I'm going to be using these for a couple of the props. But as I said, a firm pillow or a chair will work pretty well. Okay, so to start off this morning, we're going to start in Virasana. This is Hero's Pose. And this is a pose that can be a little bit strenuous on the knees. So if you are someone that has a knee injury or you've had surgery, don't push yourself into this one. You can sit on a chair or take another seated position. If you're comfortable with the state of your knees this morning, let's get into Virasana. Take a block or a pillow that's about hip distance apart. So my block is going to be on the long setting. Lift up the hips on the knees and separate the heels so that they're wider than the hip distance apart. From here, I'm going to take the block and bring it down in between the heels. You can use your pillow as well here if that's what you've got. And then you actively squeeze your heels into the block or the pillow. And what I want is a straight line from the knees back to the toes. So the toes are pointing back, the knees are pointing forward. Toes aren't out to the side. Okay, from here, take your thumbs, take them behind your knees and feel that little gap in between your calves, the calf muscles. And gently draw your hands down the seam line of the calves towards the heels. And then you can gently sit on the block. If you need more height, you can always take another block or a bit more of a pillow and add it up to lift your hips. Otherwise, if this feels okay, there's not a strain in the knees, just gently pick up one knee and then pick up the other knee to release any tension underneath. Bring your hands face down onto the knees. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears and tuck the chin. And in this pose of Virasana, you feel as though the chest is broad and lifting, almost like the heart is expanding up and out. And if you haven't already, please close down your eyes. And in this pose of the hero, start to tap into your breath. So you can breathe in through the nose. And out through the nose. The chest is nice and open. Shoulders down away from the ears. Lower ribs pressing down. We're going to sit here for about a minute. If at any point in time you need to add more height underneath your hips, if you start to feel a strain in the knees that doesn't feel good, definitely come out. This isn't a place to push the knees. We're not trying to stretch the knees. What we are trying to do in Virasana, the pose of the hero, is embody a sense of sthira and sukha. These yogic principles. Sthira is about grounding and strength and stability. So you can feel how in this pose, rooted down through the ground, nice and broad through the chest, there is a sense of strength and stability. Sukham is the principle of ease and lightness. So even in these strong poses where you feel grounded and stable, there is an element of grace, of lightness, and of ease. And you can find that in many ways. But one of the easiest ways is just through the face. So just notice whether your face is tensing and just gently relax. We're just going to stay here for 3 more full cycles of breath. So I'll invite you to really tap into your Ujjayi breath this morning. Nice long breath in. And out. As you finish your 3rd full cycle of breath, you can release the hands and gently bring the hands down onto the mat. And I'm going to get you to come straight up to standing with straight legs. So just come up to standing, straight legs, and fold forward. You can use your block or your prop underneath your hands as support, but just feel the blood running back through the legs, through the knees. Just another couple of breaths here. Beautiful. And you can take your hands onto your hips, gentle bend into the knees, and just come up with a flat back all the way up to standing. Beautiful. Release the hands and come to the top of your mat. You can move the block to the side, you won't need it for a moment. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Stand up nice and tall. We'll just start with making some circles with the neck. So start to gently roll the neck around, up and back. Finish this circle that you're on and start to draw your circles with your neck in the other direction. Nice, smooth, round circles, almost like you're drawing a beautiful circle with a crayon that's sticking out the top of the head. Beautiful. Finishing this round that you're on. And you can gently draw the head up through center. Now making big rolls in the shoulders. Bring the shoulders forward, up, back, and round. Starting to circulate through the shoulder joint. Finish that round that you're on, and then take your circles in the other direction. So the circles come up, forward, down, back and around. Okay, and while you do this, your ribs are going to want to move in and out, but to see if you can tuck the ribs in and just isolate this movement through the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Finishing that round that you're on. Just shake it out through the hands. Then reach your arms out in front, make fists with your hands and keep a firm line in the forearm. Start to circulate through the wrists. Yeah, and notice any cracks that come. And then the other way. Beautiful. Releasing your hands down to your hips. And now the circles will come through the hips. So start to move your hips out, forward, side, all the way back. Okay. You can start with pretty moderate circles, just pretty small, subtle. And as you move around, start to make your circles a little bit bigger. Really send the hips out to the side, forward, side, and back. And then taking it in the other direction. Nice. Yogis, finishing that one that you're on. Inch your feet close together. Bend the knees and bring the hands to the knees. Now we'll start to make the circles with the knees. Moving round in one direction. And then taking the circles in the other direction. Beautiful. Coming up to standing, releasing the knees. Come up onto the tips of the toes of the right foot, and you can start to bring those circles through the ankle. Circling the ankle in one direction, and then taking it the other way. So you can release the right ankle down, come up onto the tips of the left foot, and start to circulate through the ankle. And then take your circles the other way. Beautiful. Releasing that ankle down, and again just walking it out, shaking it out through the body. Okay, so at the top of the mat, the feet are hip distance and now feet apart. The outer edges of the feet become parallel to the outer edges of the mat. So that feels like your ankles slightly turn outwards to what they might be used to. Lift the toes and notice how that activates through the legs. You can let your toes release, but keep that activation all the way up through the legs. Nice and long through the torso. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. So it feels like your chest is open, lengthen through the collarbones. Tuck the chin, close down the eyes, and stand firm and strong in your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Sthira and Sukha. From here, you can bring your palms to your palms in front of your heart space, Anjali Mudra. If you have an intention for your practice this morning, please bring that in now. And if it helps you, you can imagine that you are holding your intention in that little space between your palms. That nice, warm, little cozy, protected spot. And holding that intention nice and close together, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You can release the hands. Gently open the eyes. And start to flow through your Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. Press the palms together. And then as you exhale, fold forward, bending through the knees, chest to thighs. Inhale, straighten through the legs, lengthen the spine, come up more than halfway with a long spine. And then as you exhale, you plant the palms, step the feet back to your high plank. On the inhale, draw the shoulders in front of the wrists. And as you exhale, you can lower the knees, untuck the toes, bend the elbows in towards the ribs and come down belly, chest, then chin. Inhale, lift up to your baby cobra. Come up, just a small amount. And then as you exhale, curl over the toes, make your way up and back to your downward facing dog. Let's stay here for 3 full cycles of breath. So for the first breath, you can separate your feet and just feel comfortable in your legs. Maybe you need to bend one knee and then the other. For your second breath, feel into your hands and just feel the spread of the fingers. Slightly rotate the weight into the thumb and the forefinger. Straighten through the elbows and tuck the chin so the neck is long. And for the third breath, just feel into your asana. Feel into your downward dog. On your next inhale, you can lift the heels, bend the knees, and start to step your feet towards the top of the mat. Take as many steps as you need. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to forward fold. And then inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. As you exhale, lower the right arm and take the side bend, reach the left arm overhead. Inhale, come up through center, reach the right arm up. On the exhale, let the side bend to the other side, lower the left arm beside you, reach the right arm over the ear. Lengthen through the right side body. Inhale, left arm comes up. And as you exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, high plank. Inhale, draw the shoulders in front of the wrists. Flow through your vinyasa, either full chaturanga, or if you're following me, you lower the knees, untuck the toes, exhale as you bend the elbows in towards the ribs, lower down. Inhale through your full upward dog or your baby cobra, peel the top part of the chest off the mat. And as you exhale, you can roll over the toes, send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And noticing in this pose where you feel stirrer, your sense of strength and groundedness. Maybe that's through that connection with the ground that you have with your feet and your 2 hands. And then Sukham, what feels light, what feels easy here. You feel a nice lengthening through the spine, tilt the tailbone towards the ceiling and make that spine nice and long. With the chin tucked, the spine lengthens all the way to the crown of the head. Stay here for 1 more full breath. Inhale as you lift the heels. Exhale as you bend the knees, gaze forward, step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, reach up, root to rise. Exhale, palms come to prayer. 1 more full cycle of the Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms up. Let's go for the side bend. As you exhale, you lower the right arm down, reach the left arm overhead. Lengthen through the left side body. Inhale through center, right arm reaches up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm reaches overhead. Lengthen through the right side body. Inhale, both arms up, come through center. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, come up halfway. Exhale as you plant the palms, step back, high plank. Inhale, shoulders in front of wrists. Exhale to flow through your vinyasa, either lowering the knees or coming through a full chaturanga. Inhale to your up dog or your baby cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Three full cycles of breath here. On the first breath, check in with your feet. On the second breath, you can check in with your hands. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And for the third breath, can you feel the strength and stability through your roots? And then feel the lightness and ease and length through the spine. On your next inhale, lift the heels. As you exhale, bend the knees, step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, palms come to prayer. Continue to flow and build heat. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, as you plant the palms, step back to your high plank or straight to your downward dog. Optional vinyasa. If you vinyasa, you inhale, take the shoulders forward. Exhale down to your chaturanga or modified with lower knees. Inhale to your baby cobra or up dog. And then exhale, roll the toes. Downward facing dog. Okay, with your feet hip distance apart, on your next inhale, lift the right heel towards the ceiling, toes point towards the mat. And then as you exhale, you squeeze your knee towards the nose, tiger curl between the upper back. We'll do this 3 more times. So inhale, lengthen the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, squeeze the knee towards the nose, activate through the core. One more time to flow. Inhale, lengthen the right leg. Exhale, squeeze the knee. Inhale to your three-legged dog. Exhale, squeeze knee to nose. This time you step your foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Inch that foot up as much as you need. Lower the left knee down to the mat. And then inhale, reach the arms up. Find your low crescent lunge. We'll take 3 breaths here. I want your knee directly above your ankle, so there's a right angle between the calf and the thigh. Tuck the tailbone down so you're protecting your lower back. Activate through the core. Lower the shoulders down away from the ears. Tuck the chin. Arms are nice and long. Fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Palms face each other. Stay here for 2. And for 1. Okay, keeping your drishti still. Focus on something out in front of the mat that's unmoving. Ground firmly through your right big toe and the left big toe. And then on the next inhale, you're going to lift up off the left knee and come up to your standing crescent lunge. That's it. The front knee is still bent over the ankle. The back leg is working towards straight. The tailbone points towards the mat. Stay for 2. And for 1, inhale as you reach your fingertips nice and high towards the ceiling. And then with ease and grace, exhale, float the hands either side of the right foot. Squeeze the knee in towards the ribs as you pick up the right foot with your core and step back to your high plank. Optional vinyasa or meet in downward facing dog. We meet in downward dog for a full cycle of breath. On your next inhale, lift the left heel towards the ceiling. As you exhale, squeeze the knee towards the nose. Tiger curl the upper back. 3 times to flow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, squeeze the knee in. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, round through the upper back. 1 more time, lengthen. Left leg high. And then exhale, squeeze the knee towards the nose. This time you step your left foot forward, inching it all the way up so it's in between the hands if you need. Lower the right knee down and let the inhale take your arms up towards the ceiling. You find your low crescent lunge. Again, the right knee is pressed above the ankle. There's a right angle between the thigh and the calf. The tailbone is tucking down, so you're not dumping in. You're sucking back, the navel towards the spine. Shoulders down away from the ears, arms straight, palms face each other, fingertips towards the ceiling, tuck the chin. Let's stay for 2 full cycles of breath. Beautiful. And then finding your drishti. Focus out in front of the mat. On your next inhale, you'll make your way to standing. Lift the back knee off the mat. Keep in your crescent lunge. Front knee bent, back leg working towards straight. We'll stay for 3 full cycles of breath. And we're not moving fast this morning, but you might start to feel like a strong burn through the legs. Bit of heat creating through the body. Stay for 1 more full cycle of breath. And then keeping that activation through the legs as you inhale, lengthen the arms up nice and high. And then exhale, fold forward as you place your hands either side of the left foot. Squeeze the core as you step the left foot all the way back to your high plank. Optional vinyasa or downward facing dog. Okay, take 3 breaths in your downward dog or find your child's pose. Child's pose, lower the knees. Bring the heels together and sink the hips back. Wherever you are, just 2 more full cycles of breath. If you're in your child's pose, make your way back to your downward dog. And from here, we'll inhale and lift the left heel towards the ceiling. The right heel towards the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze the knee, this time to the right elbow. Right knee to right elbow. 3 times to flow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to elbow. Hover it here, and this time you can step your right foot outside your right hand. Right foot outside right hand. Lower the left knee down and find your lizard variation. So as I inhale, I'm going to draw my chest forward, spread between my collarbones. And I can stay here, or if I want to go a little deeper this morning, come down onto the forearms. If you have a block handy, you can use a block underneath the forearms. Okay, so wherever you are today, keep the chest nice and broad and take your right knee and actively draw it in towards the right shoulder. I'm going to stay for 3 more full cycles of breath. On your next in-breath, I want you to curl the back toes and then lift up off the back knee, so come straight through the left leg. Keep squeezing the right knee into the right shoulder, full lizard variation. Beautiful, yogis. Just 1 more full cycle of breath here. If you're on your forearms, make your way up to your hands. And as you exhale, you can send that right foot back to your high plank. Inhale to draw your shoulders forward, an optional vinyasa, or meet in downward facing dog. Full round of breath here. And then with the breath, as you inhale, left heel high. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Draw the weight forward. Inhale to your 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to elbow. 1 more time to flow. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, squeeze the knee towards the elbow. And this time you can lightly step your left foot outside your left hand. Lower the right knee down. Plant the palms on the mat, and as you inhale, draw your heart space forward. Keep that length between the collarbones. Chest is nice and broad. Again, you want the left knee squeezing in towards the left shoulder. And if you want to go deeper, you can lower down onto your forearms, noticing whether one side is more open than the other. In your grounded lizard variation, we'll stay for 3 more breaths. On your next in-breath, curl the right toes, lift the right knee off the mat, come into your full lizard variation. Beautiful, yogis. If you're on your forearms, come up onto your hands, straighten through the elbows. Step your left foot back with control. Inhale, shoulders in front of the wrists. Exhale, downward dog or full vinyasa, your choice. On your next in-breath, lift the heels nice and high. Exhale, bend the knees as you gaze forward. Step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, palms to palms. Tuck the chin, close down the eyes. Before you adjust your hair or wipe your sweat or fix your clothing, just stand in your Tadasana, in your mountain pose, palms pressed in Anjali Mudra, and just notice how you feel in your body right now. Tap into that sense of sthira, strength and groundedness through the legs, up through the body. And then notice where you feel a sense of ease and lightness in your mountain pose. And then coming back to that warm, safe space in between your palms, that little gap that you hold so closely to your heart. Remember your intention. Together, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Release the hands. Gently open the eyes. And I'm going to get you to find your block or your chair, whatever prop you have, if you need one. If you don't have anything, that's fine. We can work around it. But I'm going to put the block on the high setting at the top right corner of my mat. I keep my right foot pointing forward straight ahead, and the left foot is going to step all the way back, about 1.5 meters. The left toes point 45 degrees, so they're pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Checking in with the feet, there is a straight line between the front heel and the back arch. A straight line between the front heel and the back arch. And as I square my shoulders and my hips towards the long edge of the mat, I can reach my arms out, nice and long beside me. Right arm points forward, left behind. Palms face up today. Now we're going to flow through a version of Trikonasana pose, triangle. And as you inhale, you hinge from the hips, reach the right fingertips towards the very front of the mat. And then as you exhale, fold into your Trikonasana, right arm up, right arm down, left arm up. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing using the core. Exhale, relax the shoulders, palms face up. Let's flow through this 2 more times. So inhale, hinge from the hips, reach forward. Exhale, right arm down, left arm up, Trikonasana. Inhale, use the core, come up to standing. Exhale, release the shoulders, turn the palms face up. 1 more time to flow. Inhale, hinge from the hips, like an offering, reach the right fingertips forward. Exhale, down to your Trikonasana. Inhale, use the core, come up. Exhale, release the palms, face up, shoulders down. This time we will reach and hold, so inhale, hinge from the hips. Exhale, fold into your Trikonasana. Use the block for support, or you can just come up onto your thigh or calf. You don't need to reach the fingers down all the way to the ground. So I'm up on the high setting of my block, and my left fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Stay here for a breath. Notice the sensation in your spine. Your spine will hopefully feel quite long right now. On your next exhale, I want you to turn your left palm down and reach your left hand overhead. Yes, so you're coming into a version of your Trikonasana that's going to bring a bow into the spine. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Nice and long through the left side body. Beautiful, yogis. Using your core, lift your right arm up and then come all the way up to standing. Yes. Let's go straight to the other side by rotating the feet. So the right toes point 45 degrees. Turn the left toes towards the back end of the mat. If you have a prop, pick it up and take it to the outside of the left ankle. And again, setting up for your Trikonasana pose. So check that there's a straight line between the front heel and the back arch. Square the hips and the shoulders towards the long edge of the mat. And then reach the arms out beside you, turn the palms face up today. You can gaze towards your left hand, and let's flow through our Trikonasana. So the inhale hinges the hips forward, reach the left fingertips towards the back of the mat. And then exhale, fold into your Trikonasana. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale as you release the shoulders, turn the palms face up. 2 more times to flow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, Trikonasana, just for a breath. Inhale, lift the body up all the way to standing. Exhale, release shoulders, palms face up. 1 more time to flow. Release shoulders, palms face up. On the exhale. On the inhale, we reach forward, hinge from the hips. Exhale, find Trikonasana. Finding your block or a chair or just reaching your hand wherever your comfort zone is accessible today. Left fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Sorry, the right fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Nice and long through the right side body. And again, checking into the sensation in your spine. I want you to be high up enough on your left hand that you feel nice and long through the spine. So I come up onto the tips of my fingers on the top of my block. Stay for 1 more full breath here. And then with the right hand, you turn the palm face down. Reach the right arm over the head. Shoulder comes above the ear. And feel a nice bow sensation through the spine. My hips and my shoulders are still facing the long edge of the mat. I'm going to stay here for 3 full cycles of breath. For 2. And then for 1, using the core, lift the left arm up and then reach the body all the way up to standing. Okay, just turn both feet towards the long edge of the mat, parallel to each other. And just pause for a moment. You can bring your hands to your hips if that helps. You can even just bring a little circular motion through the hips to release any stretch and strengthen. We're going to come back to the first side, so the right side with the toes pointing forward. Again, take your block or your chair and set it up to the outside edge of the feet. Coming back to Trikonasana, so turn the left toes pointing 45 degrees, right toes point forward. Inhale, hinge from the hips. Exhale, fold, right arm down, left arm up. We're just going to stay here for 1 breath before we set up to our Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. So for half moon, gaze down at the right foot. You can pick up your block or have your chair set up about 30 centimeters in front of the right pinky toe. Start to lean the weight forward, lift the left leg up nice and high. And with your prop, I want you to feel like you can open your chest and your hips. So stack the left hip over the right hip. The left leg is long and lengthened. Let's stay here for 2. And for 1. Okay, really gently, I want you to take the left foot down. We're going to transition straight to the other side. So pick up the block or the chair. Rotate the feet so that the left toes point towards the back edge of the mat. The right toes are 45 degrees. Place your prop in its necessary position. Hips and shoulders square to the long edge of the mat. Inhale, reach into your Trikonasana. Exhale, fold. Reaching for the block, the chair, or your upper thigh. We're just going to stay in our traditional Trikonasana for 1 full cycle of breath. And then setting up for your half moon, gaze down at the left toe, pick up your block or your chair and place it 30 centimeters in front of the left big toe. Become light in the right leg. Right arm is reaching up towards the ceiling, and again, you're opening your chest and your hips. right hip stacked on left. The right leg is long and lengthened. We're going to stay here for 3. For 2. And for 1, bring a gentle bend into the left knee. Step the right foot all the way back down. Nice long stance. You can parallel the feet. Bring the hands to the hips. And again, just making circles with the hips if that feels good. Circle in the other way. Okay. We're going to make our way down to the mat. Again, if you've got a block, you can use this. I'm not going to use a block for this for this position, but you can if you'd like. Coming down onto the knees. If your knees are a little sensitive, you can fold your mat over and use that padding underneath the knees. Otherwise, just sitting up nice and tall, moving anything out of the way from the side of the mat. We're going to start with the left knee underneath the left shoulder and extend the right leg out beside you. The right toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle. Again, you check that there is a straight line between the left knee and the right arch. And then from here, I'm going to lift my left arm all the way up overhead. And as I exhale, I take the side bend, Parigasasana, side gate pose. Okay, so reach the left fingertips nice and long. The hips are square, feeling a really strong lengthening through the left side body. Stay here for 3 full cycles of breath. On your next inhale, you can walk your right hands up the right leg. Reach both arms up nice and high. Tuck the left toes behind you so that the heel is nice and high. Keep the hips as they are, and this time I'm going to take my right hand and reach it behind me for my left heel. Hips stay pressing forward, chest is open. I want you to feel here like your heart is pressing up towards the ceiling. Stay for 2 more full cycles of breath. Beautiful. To come out, take the left hand towards the lower back hip and come all the way up. Release the left hand down, bring the right knee in. And let's come straight to the other side. So send the left leg out nice and long. This time there's a straight line between the right knee, the right hip, and the right shoulder. The left toe is pointing 45 degrees, and there's a straight line between the left arch and the right knee. Reach the right arm up nice and tall. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you can start to walk your left hand down the leg towards the left ankle. Again, here I'm trying to really maximize the length between my right hip and my right fingertips. So really feeling that strong length. If it feels okay, you can gaze up with the neck or gaze down. Stay for 2 full cycles of breath. On your next inhale, coming all the way up. This time you tuck the back toe so the right heel becomes high. Keep the right arm nice and high, and the left hand is going to reach back for your right ankle. Keep the hips pressing forward, open up through the chest. This right hand can reach behind you if that feels okay. Gaze up. Beautiful yogis. On your next inhale, take your left hand to the hip and reach up all the way to standing. Lower the right arm down. Bring the left knee in. And you can just sit back on your hips onto your heels, and bring your hands face down onto your knees. Just sit up with a nice long spine. A nice long spine. Tuck the chin. If you feel a little heightened today, like you don't want to expand through the chest anymore, you've had enough in your back or your chest, just stay seated like this. But I'm going to give you the option to coming into Ustrasana, camel pose with me. So for camel pose, you lift up. I'm going to turn side on so that you can see through the camera. You lift up so that the hips are above the knees, and I'm going to get you to tuck the toes behind you. Hands come beside, support the lower back with the palms facing towards the knees, down. Elbows reach behind you and back. Now, I want to imagine like my hips are glued to an imaginary wall. They can't come back with me. They stay nice and firm. As I inhale, I squeeze my elbows together and start to open up through the chest. I can keep my chin tucked. I stay here if that feels okay. If I want to go deeper, I can reach my hands towards my heels. Option 2. Keeping the hips pressed forward, level 3 is to send the head up and back. Only if that feels okay for the neck. I'm going to give you the chance to stay here for 3 full cycles of breath. If at any time you want to come out, please do. Okay, wherever you are, you bring your hands back to your lower back. Inhale, come up to standing, to straight. And then untuck the toes, sink the hips back towards the heels, spine nice and long. Palms face down onto your knees, just tuck the chin, sitting up nice and tall. Notice what's alive in your body right now. Beautiful yogis, you can open the eyes, and keeping the spine nice and tall, send your ankles to one side and then come onto your backside. Here I want you to send your hands behind you, the index fingers point towards the hips. Send the feet out nice and wide, and you can just windshield wiper your knees from right to left. Just bring a gentle twist through the spine. That's it. Beautiful. And bring the feet up through center. Bring the heels kind of close to the hips. Reach the arms out long in front. And using your core, suck the navel in towards the spine. Roll down onto your back. One vertebrae at a time. Tuck the chin. Activate through the core. Palms face down onto the mat. Bring your heels a little bit closer towards the hips and just check that your feet are hip distance apart. We're setting up for bridge. So as you inhale, I want you to press into your heels and lift the hips up nice and high. From here, you can shimmy the shoulders underneath the shoulder blades and clasp the hands underneath the hips. Press the hands onto the mat. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths, grounding through the feet. And on the inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you can send your chest towards your chin. So for 4 more cycles of breath, let the inhale lift the hips high. Exhale, chest to chin. Hips high on the inhale. Chest to chin on the exhale. 2 more full breaths. From here, you can unclasp your hands and unshimmy the shoulders. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. And again, keep your feet wide, connect the knees together, and you can just windshield wiper the knees from right to left. The next time your knees fall to the left, let them stay there. Pause. And to go a little deeper, you can take your gaze over towards the right hand. To deepen through this lay down twist, take the left knee up, place it on top of the right knee up, place it on top of the left knee. And you can use your hand on top of the right knee to help bring a little pressure down there. Beautiful. Release your left hand nice and long. Inhale, both knees through center. And then take your twist over towards the right. Gaze out towards the left if that feels okay. And for extra leverage, you can bring your right hand over the top of your left knee to help guide that knee towards the mat. Beautiful. Drawing both knees through center. Squeezing into a little ball. And then make your way up and down the spine. Coming all the way up to a seated position. Actually, scrap that. We're going to come all the way back down onto the mat. I just saw the time. Squeeze the knees in towards the body. Make your body really tight, like a little ball. You can make circles into the lower spine, circle the lower back onto the mat. You can circle the other way. And then squeeze the knees in really close to the chest. And just for these last few breaths, I want you to take your forehead, connect them to the knees, and make your whole body super tight, like it's in a little eggshell. Squeeze everything, squeeze your toes, squeeze your face. Hug your knees in for 3, squeeze it. For 2. And for 1, you can release, make your body nice and long. Setting up for your Shavasana, final pose for today. In a comfortable Shavasana, release the shoulders down away from the ears so you can actually pick up your shoulders and tuck them back down. Arms out nice and long beside you, palms face up. Let the legs be long, toes point away from each other so the hips are open. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, let it go through your mouth. Two more like this. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more. Rest in your Shavasana. Even in this pose of complete surrender, there is a sense of sthira and sukha. There is that stability that the ground provides underneath your body, letting you be truly, truly heavy, to truly surrender. So through this firm connection, this groundedness, this strength supporting you, the rest of your body has the chance to be fully light, easeful. Just taking a few more breaths in your Shavasana. And if you're practicing at home, I'll invite you to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need. But if you're live and it's time to get on with the day, you can start to gently bring some movement into your fingers and your toes. And then reach your arms up overhead, stretch through the fingertips, point through the toes. And from here you can make your way into a ball, curling onto one side of the mat. And for this brief moment, coming back to your fresh intention. And if that's something that might serve you for the rest of your day today, make the commitment to take that intention with you off the mat into your life beyond. And with your eyes still closed, you can make your way gently up to a seat. Moving into a cross-legged or a kneeling position, whatever's comfortable. Press your palms to your palms in front of your heart space. Tuck the chin. And always, it's such an honor to be here and being able to practice with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Together, we can bow our heads. Say namaste. Thank you, yogis. Please contact us if you have any questions or comments. Have a great day.